Now, a new analysis shows that the 6-ton iconic altar stone at the heart of Stonehenge originated from northeastern Scotland rather than southwest Wales. The discovery shows that its construction was a far greater collaborative effort than scientists believe.
What if everything we thought we knew about ancient Britain was completely wrong? Scientists just made a discovery at Stonehenge that's rewriting history books and revealing a level of ancient sophistication that shouldn't have been possible 5,000 years ago. Before we dive in, make sure you don't miss a single shocking detail. This discovery is unlike anything scientists have revealed before. The discovery that changed everything. For over a century, archaeologists believed they had Stonehenge figured out. Sure, it was mysterious, impressive, and undeniably ancient, but the basic story seemed straightforward. Local stones, regional builders, maybe some impressive but primitive engineering. We were so incredibly wrong, it's almost embarrassing. In 2024, a team of scientists led by Curtin University in Australia made a discovery so shocking that it forced us to completely reimagine what our ancestors were capable of. Using cutting-edge geochemical analysis and X-ray fluorescence technology, they traced the origin of Stonehenge's massive altar stone, that 6-ton central slab that has puzzled researchers for generations. The results were genuinely terrifying, not because they revealed anything supernatural, but because they exposed just how little we understand about the capabilities of ancient civilizations. The altar stone didn't come from Wales as scientists had believed for over 100 years. It came from Scotland, hundreds of miles farther away than originally thought. But here's where this gets really unsettling. We're not talking about a small decorative piece or a manageable boulder. This is a massive 6-ton stone that was somehow transported at least 750 kilometers from northeastern Scotland to southern England, around 4,500 years ago. That's like moving a modern car from Edinburgh to London using nothing but Stone Age technology. Think about that for a moment. While we've always assumed ancient people were limited by primitive tools and basic knowledge, this discovery suggests they had developed transportation methods, organizational systems, and engineering capabilities that we're only now beginning to understand. The implications are staggering, and frankly, a little frightening. The discovery didn't happen overnight. Researchers had been suspicious about the altar stone's true origins for years. Using handheld X-ray fluorescence analysis, a non-destructive chemical analytical method, scientists analyzed the Stonehenge bluestones and compared them with samples from potential source locations. What they found completely upended decades of archaeological assumptions. But this revelation raises far more questions than it answers. How did our ancestors move such massive stones across such incredible distances? What kind of society was sophisticated enough to organize such an undertaking? And, perhaps most unsettling of all, what else don't we know about the true capabilities of ancient civilizations? The terrifying logistics of ancient engineering. Let's talk about what moving a 6-ton stone 750 kilometers actually meant in the Stone Age. To put this in perspective, a modern pickup truck typically weighs about 2 tons. The altar stone weighs 3 times that amount, and somehow, 5,000 years ago, people figured out how to move it across the entire length of Britain. The sheer physics of this undertaking are mind-boggling. Transporting such massive cargo overland from Scotland to southern England would have been extremely challenging, indicating a likely marine shipping route along the coast of Britain. But marine transport in the Stone Age? We're talking about people who supposedly hadn't even invented the wheel yet, managing oceanic cargo shipping. The discovery seems to point to the existence of unexpectedly advanced transport methods that challenge everything we thought we knew about Neolithic capabilities. This implies long-distance trade networks and a higher level of societal organization than is widely believed for this time period. Imagine the planning required. These weren't just a few people deciding to move a rock on a whim. This would have required a coordinated effort involving possibly hundreds of people, specialized tools, advanced boats capable of carrying multi-ton cargo, precise navigation skills, and a level of social organization that suggests these ancient communities were far more sophisticated than we ever imagined. The marine route theory is particularly unsettling because it suggests Neolithic Britons had developed seaworthy vessels capable of handling extremely heavy cargo. Neolithic sailors may have transported the 6-ton altar stone from northeastern Scotland to Salisbury, England, around 4,500 years ago. We're talking about Stone Age people who somehow mastered oceanic engineering and navigation. But here's what makes this discovery truly terrifying from an archaeological perspective. If they could do this, what else were they capable of? The altar stone transport suggests a level of technological and social advancement that exists in complete contradiction to our understanding of prehistoric Britain. The logistics alone would have been staggering. They needed to quarry the stone using primitive tools, transport it to the coast, load it onto vessels sturdy enough to handle the weight, navigate the treacherous waters around the Scottish and English coasts, unload it safely, and then transport it inland to the Stonehenge site. Each step would have required specialized knowledge, advanced planning, and engineering solutions we're only now beginning to appreciate. The hidden network of ancient Britain. The Scotland discovery isn't happening in isolation. It's part of a pattern that's emerging about ancient Britain that's genuinely unsettling in its implications. Recent research suggests Stonehenge wasn't just a local monument built by regional tribes. It was the centerpiece of a vast, interconnected network spanning the entire British Isles. Recent discovery that one of Stonehenge's stones originated in Scotland supports a theory that the stone circle was built as a monument to unite Britain's early farmers nearly 5,000 years ago. Many of the stones used in the construction of Stonehenge hail from various locales around the United Kingdom. We're not talking about casual stone gathering from the local area. These builders were systematically sourcing materials from across hundreds of miles, suggesting trade networks, diplomatic relationships, and organizational capabilities that shouldn't have existed in the Stone Age. 2 Neolithic stone circles were discovered within Dartmoor National Park in Devon, England, with similar features to Stonehenge, appearing to lend credence to the Sacred Ark theory. This suggests Stonehenge wasn't unique. It was part of a coordinated construction program spanning multiple sites across Britain. What we're seeing is evidence of what can only be described as prehistoric nation-building. Ancient communities weren't isolated tribes scraping by with basic survival skills. They were part of a sophisticated political and religious network that spanned the entire island, with the organizational capacity to coordinate massive construction projects requiring materials and labor from hundreds of miles away. Archaeologists discovered a circle of pits, each 10 meters or more in diameter and at least 5 meters deep, around Stonehenge's largest prehistoric neighbor, the so-called Superhenge at Durrington Walls. The scale and precision of these constructions suggest engineering knowledge and surveying capabilities that we assumed didn't exist until much later in history. But here's what's truly disturbing about this emerging picture. If ancient Britons had developed such sophisticated networks, engineering capabilities, and organizational systems, where did this knowledge go? Why did it seem to disappear? What happened to these advanced ancient civilizations that possessed capabilities we're only now beginning to understand? The network theory also raises uncomfortable questions about our assumptions regarding prehistoric communication and travel. How were these scattered communities coordinating such massive undertakings? What methods of long-distance communication were they using? The logistics of coordinating material sourcing, transportation, and construction across hundreds of miles without modern technology suggest capabilities we haven't even begun to comprehend. The altar stone's dark secrets. Let's focus on the altar stone itself, because the more scientists study it, the more unsettling the discoveries become. This is positioned at the very heart of Stonehenge, and recent analysis suggests its placement was incredibly deliberate and meaningful in ways we're only now beginning to understand. The stone's positioning is architecturally perfect. It lies flat at the center of the monument, aligned with the summer solstice sunrise and winter solstice sunset. But here's what's genuinely chilling. Achieving this precise astronomical alignment, while incorporating a stone from 750 miles away, suggests a level of advanced planning and coordination that challenges everything we thought we knew about prehistoric capabilities. The findings indicate that the altar stone's barium content is unusual, and this raises doubts about the altar stone's origin, which had been accepted for over a century. The geochemical analysis revealed that this stone is unique, not just in its Scottish origin, but in its specific mineral composition that makes it distinctly different from anything else at the site. But why this particular stone? Why transport something so massive from so far away when suitable stones were available much closer? The answer suggests the altar stone held special significance that we don't fully understand. Was it considered sacred by the Scottish communities who quarried it? Did its unique properties make it essential for some purpose we haven't discovered? Co-author Dr. Robert Ixer called this discovery genuinely shocking and noted that if plate tectonics and atomic physics are correct, then the Scottish origin is undeniable. The certainty of the scientific evidence makes the implications impossible to ignore. What's particularly unsettling is that the altar stone's transport represents just one element of Stonehenge's construction. If they were willing to go to such extraordinary lengths for this single stone, what other incredible efforts went into the monument that we haven't discovered yet? How many other assumptions about Stonehenge's construction are completely wrong? The positioning and sourcing of the altar stone also suggest that Stonehenge's builders had detailed knowledge of both local and distant geology. They somehow knew that northeastern Scotland contained exactly the type of stone they needed, despite being hundreds of miles away from their construction site. This implies either extensive exploration and mapping of Britain's geological resources, or trade networks sophisticated enough to provide detailed information about distant stone sources. Recent excavations have also revealed disturbing details about the site's history. Archaeologists found Bronze Age graves, late Neolithic pottery, and remains that included a shale object in one of the graves, burnt flint, and the final resting place of a baby. The presence of human remains, particularly infant burials, adds a darker dimension to our understanding of what Stonehenge represented to its builders. Advanced ancient technology. We can't explain. The transportation of the altar stone from Scotland reveals technological capabilities that shouldn't have existed 5,000 years ago. We're not just talking about impressive but primitive solutions. We're looking at evidence of sophisticated engineering that rivals some modern capabilities. Consider the marine transportation theory. Moving a 6-ton stone by sea requires vessels with incredible load-bearing capacity, advanced understanding of weight distribution, specialized loading and unloading equipment, and navigation skills sophisticated enough to handle cargo that could sink the ship if something went wrong. Recent research indicates that humans, not glacial transport, brought blue stones to Stonehenge, confirming that Neolithic people were responsible for transporting these massive stones. This definitely rules out natural explanations and confirms that we're looking at deliberate human engineering on a scale that challenges our understanding of prehistoric capabilities. But the technology implications go far beyond just transportation. The precision of Stonehenge's astronomical alignments, combined with the incorporation of stones from such distant locations, suggests the builders had developed sophisticated surveying techniques, mathematical knowledge, and architectural planning capabilities. The construction sequence itself reveals advanced project management. Archaeological evidence shows that Stonehenge was built in multiple phases over several centuries, with each phase requiring different materials, techniques, and organizational structures. This suggests long-term planning and institutional knowledge that could be maintained and passed down across generations. What's genuinely terrifying from a historical perspective is that these technological capabilities seem to have appeared and disappeared. We don't see gradual development leading up to these achievements, nor do we see them continuing and evolving. It's as if advanced knowledge existed for a specific period and then vanished, leaving only these monumental puzzles to hint at what was possible. The quarrying techniques required to extract and shape these massive stones also suggest advanced tool-making and engineering knowledge. The precision with which the stones were cut and finished indicates a sophisticated understanding of stone properties, specialized tools, and techniques that we're only now beginning to appreciate through experimental archaeology. Recent discoveries have also revealed that the Stonehenge site was much larger and more complex than previously understood. Archaeologists found a roadway or avenue linking the southern circle at Durrington Walls to the river, as well as several small houses and structures built of timber and chalk. This suggests the monument was part of a much larger complex, with supporting infrastructure that would have required extensive planning and coordination. The political implications of prehistoric sophistication. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of the Stonehenge discoveries is what they reveal about the political and social organization of prehistoric Britain. The coordination required to source materials from across the British Isles and organize their transport and construction suggests a level of political sophistication that challenges fundamental assumptions about ancient societies. The theory that the stone circle was built as a monument to unite Britain's early farmers, supported by the fact that stones came from various locales around the United Kingdom, suggests we're looking at evidence of prehistoric nation-building on a scale that shouldn't have been possible. Think about what this actually means. Around 5,000 years ago, communities scattered across Britain were somehow coordinating to contribute materials and labor to a central monument. This requires diplomatic relationships, trade agreements, shared religious or political beliefs, and organizational structures capable of managing resources across hundreds of miles. The implications are genuinely disturbing for our understanding of human social evolution. We've always assumed that complex political organizations, long-distance coordination, and large-scale public works projects were relatively recent developments in human history. The Stonehenge evidence suggests our ancestors achieved sophisticated political organization thousands of years earlier than we thought possible. But here's what's really unsettling. If ancient Britons had developed such advanced political and social systems, what happened to them? Why don't we see continuity between these prehistoric achievements and later historical developments? It's as if sophisticated civilizations existed, created these monuments, and then vanished, leaving almost no trace of how they achieved such remarkable coordination. The multi-generational aspect of Stonehenge's construction also reveals sophisticated institutional continuity. Projects that took centuries to complete required stable social structures, consistent leadership systems, and cultural traditions strong enough to maintain focus and resources across multiple lifetimes. This suggests political institutions and social organization far more advanced than we typically associate with prehistoric societies. The recent discoveries also reveal evidence of specialized roles and social stratification. The level of expertise required for astronomical calculations, engineering planning, stone transport, and construction management suggests a society with specialized knowledge keepers, skilled craftspeople, and complex social hierarchies. What's particularly unsettling is that these discoveries are forcing us to reconsider our entire timeline of human social development. If sophisticated political organizations, long-distance trade networks, and complex engineering projects existed 5,000 years ago, what other assumptions about ancient capabilities are completely wrong? The astronomical terror of ancient knowledge. One of the most disturbing aspects of Stonehenge isn't just what it reveals about ancient engineering. It's what it shows about prehistoric astronomical knowledge. The precision of the monument's celestial alignments, combined with the recent discoveries about stone sourcing, suggests our ancestors possessed a sophisticated understanding of astronomy that we're only now beginning to appreciate. Stonehenge's primary alignment with the summer solstice sunrise and winter solstice sunset isn't accidental. The builders somehow calculated these alignments with incredible precision, incorporating them into a monument built with materials sourced from across Britain. This required not just astronomical knowledge, but the mathematical and engineering capabilities to translate that knowledge into precise construction. But the astronomical connections go much deeper. Recent research has revealed that Stonehenge's design incorporates multiple celestial alignments, lunar cycles, and potentially even more complex astronomical phenomena. The builders weren't just marking the solstices, they were creating a sophisticated instrument for tracking multiple celestial events with remarkable accuracy. What's genuinely terrifying is the level of long-term observation and record-keeping this represents. Achieving the precision we see at Stonehenge required generations of careful astronomical observation, mathematical analysis, and data recording. This suggests prehistoric communities had developed systems for preserving and transmitting complex technical knowledge across multiple generations. The incorporation of the Scottish altar stone into these astronomical alignments makes the achievement even more remarkable. The builders somehow managed to integrate a stone transported 750 miles into precise celestial calculations, suggesting an extraordinary level of planning and coordination between distant communities working toward a common astronomical goal. Recent archaeological evidence also suggests Stonehenge was part of a larger astronomical observation network. Other sites across Britain show similar celestial alignments, suggesting coordinated astronomical activity spanning the entire island. We're looking at evidence of prehistoric communities working together to create a comprehensive system for tracking celestial phenomena. But here's what's most unsettling. The astronomical knowledge demonstrated at Stonehenge rivals and, in some cases, exceeds what we see in much later civilizations. How did prehistoric communities achieve such sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics without the tools and techniques we associate with advanced astronomy? The implications extend beyond just Britain. If prehistoric communities had developed such advanced astronomical capabilities, similar knowledge might have existed in other parts of the world. This could mean our entire understanding of when and how humans developed complex scientific knowledge needs to be reconsidered. The mystery of vanished capabilities. Perhaps the most disturbing aspect of the Stonehenge discoveries is what they suggest about lost knowledge and vanished capabilities. The evidence points to prehistoric communities that possessed engineering, organizational, and astronomical capabilities that seem to have disappeared, leaving only monumental puzzles to hint at what was once possible. The technological sophistication required for transporting the altar stone from Scotland doesn't appear to have continued or evolved. Instead, these capabilities seem to have existed for a specific period and then vanished, as if entire bodies of knowledge were lost. This raises unsettling questions about the stability of human knowledge and the possibility of civilizational regression. Archaeological evidence suggests that the advanced organizational systems capable of coordinating multi-regional construction projects also disappeared. The political and social structures that could manage resources, coordinate labor, and maintain multi-generational projects seem to have collapsed, leaving no clear descendants or continuations. The astronomical knowledge demonstrated at Stonehenge also appears to have been lost. Later British communities don't show continuity with the sophisticated celestial understanding we see in the monument's design. It's as if generations of careful observation and mathematical analysis simply disappeared from the cultural record. What's genuinely terrifying is the implication that advanced knowledge and capabilities aren't guaranteed to persist. The Stonehenge evidence suggests that sophisticated civilizations can develop remarkable capabilities and then lose them, sometimes leaving only monumental evidence of what was once possible. Recent research into other ancient sites around the world is revealing similar patterns, evidence of advanced capabilities that seem to have existed briefly and then vanished. This suggests the loss of sophisticated knowledge might be more common in human history than we've previously understood. The disappearance of these capabilities also raises questions about how knowledge was preserved and transmitted in prehistoric societies. The loss suggests that ancient communities might have been more vulnerable to disruption than we typically assume, with entire bodies of technical knowledge potentially disappearing when key individuals died or social systems collapsed. But perhaps most unsettling is what this means for our own civilization. If prehistoric communities could develop such remarkable capabilities and then lose them completely, what does that suggest about the stability of our own technological and scientific achievements? Global implications of prehistoric sophistication. Archaeological discoveries at Stonehenge and beyond are revealing a global pattern of prehistoric sophistication that challenges our core assumptions about ancient civilizations. The Scottish altar stone's long-distance transport mirrors findings at other sites featuring massive constructions, precise astronomical alignments, and complex social coordination, suggesting advanced capabilities were far more widespread than believed. These revelations expose gaps in our understanding of human development and raise questions about whether prehistoric societies were more interconnected than assumed. With new technologies accelerating such discoveries, it's becoming clear that our models of linear human progress may be deeply flawed, pointing to entire missing chapters of human history. The revelation that Stonehenge's altar stone originated in Scotland has overturned long-held archaeological beliefs, exposing prehistoric societies as far more advanced than once thought. The transportation of a 6-ton stone across 750 miles highlights not only remarkable engineering, but also evidence of complex trade routes, political coordination, and organizational systems rivaling modern achievements. These findings suggest advanced seafaring, precise astronomical knowledge, and multi-generational projects that challenge the notion of primitive ancestors. Yet the most unsettling aspect is how such capabilities vanished, leaving behind only mysterious monuments as traces of lost knowledge. As research deepens, this discovery may mark the beginning of a complete rethinking of human history and prehistoric sophistication. What do you think about these discoveries? Does the evidence of advanced prehistoric capabilities excite you or worry you about what else we might have gotten wrong about ancient civilizations?